that wasn't just a casual, off-the-cuff comment, as we so often hear from Peter. It was in his document, in his campaign plan that he released earlier this year. And I have to tell you, based on what we've been doing over the last 6 years to reduce the cost of corrections, to reduce the rate of increase down to single digits, by putting in place some strategies to monitor some offenders outside of our institutions while still protecting the public, there's no way that we can reduce the corrections budget by nearly a third and have the communities be safe around our state. Whether that's in 1 year or several years, that's just irresponsible. And then we have other comments by Senator Shumlin. I was just joking about the traffic ticket. I was just joking about the shoe bomb at the airport. I was just trying to be funny with the Pinocchio TV commercial that I put on the air and now promised to take off. Well, I think I have a pretty good sense of humor, and I enjoy that. But state government is not Comedy Central. It's serious business. We have to make sure that we have a chief executive who's going to do the job seriously. And that's why I believe Brian Dubie is the person to do that job, because he would take it seriously as he has as lieutenant governor. He has the integrity to know what to do to get the job done.
Do you think Peter Shumlin is a man of integrity?
The senator's comments, I think, speak for themselves when he indicates that he jokes a lot. I think Vermonters will have to sort that out. I recall that famous episode a few years ago, I'm sure many of you do, when he stood by my side, as Brian is this afternoon, and said, "We have no more tax capacity." And within hours, Senate committees were working on raising 5 different taxes. That's not what Vermonters need. They need to rely on what their chief executive says. That's why Brian Dubie is the right person for this job.
Can you point to some more specifics besides serving on such and such commission, or something that Brian Dubie has done that you've watched that would make him worthy of people's votes?
Well, there's so many things. I referred to some of them, Terry. When Brian takes a job on, he takes it very seriously. As chairman of the Commission on Healthy Aging, he had, how many forums, Brian? A huge number after the Medicare Part D.
Creating the Center for Aging.
Yeah, but I think how many different meetings?
17.
Yeah, I mean, hearings, meetings with seniors all across the state to talk about Medicare Part D, to make sure that senior organizations and individuals knew about those opportunities. Brian worked with, as he noted, the University of Vermont to create the Center for Healthy Aging, helping to secure a very significant, generous grant to the university to get that center up and running. When he takes a task on, he goes for it, and is extremely thorough and comprehensive in getting the job done. I mentioned the energy future of our state. It was in April of '03 that Premier Charest of Quebec was sworn into office, and Brian was there in the front row, meeting the new premier, establishing relationships that have borne tremendous fruit for our state after a period when those relationships had really deteriorated. After the ice storm of the late 90s, the tension between Hydro-Quebec and the Quebec government and our utilities and state government was quite significant. So Brian has built those bridges, developed those relationships that have borne tremendous fruit today. He's been to Asia, he's been to Cuba to explore the opportunity for markets for products in our state and investment in Vermont. Brian's leadership, as I indicated, is at 3 levels of government, putting on the uniform of our nation to serve our country, serving in state government, and also as a chairman of the school board in one of the largest communities in our state. He's been at my side when we've had challenging negotiations on budgets over the last couple of years, not all of them successful, but he's played a key role in developing those relationships with members of the General Assembly. He's done an awful lot for our state, and I hope he'll have the chance to do more.
Earlier today, Lieutenant Governor Brian Dubie's campaign suggested that Senator Shumlin reveal the name of the state trooper that he spoke with on the phone. You mentioned the traffic ticket and the joking around. Is your administration prepared to release the names of the 2 troopers who were involved in this alleged ticket voiding fix scandal or whatever it may be?
I don't know if we can, Shay. We have personnel rules and statutes that have to be respected, and the personnel and disciplinary processes in state government have certain restrictions, and that may not be possible. But there's one person who has the answers and who is not restrained. That's Peter Shumlin, and I would urge you to continue to ask him.
Do you think it's appropriate to drag state police troopers into a political campaign
Well, they
as a result of that?
They obviously choose to be involved politically as an organization, as I'm sure you know. But Peter's the one who has the answers to your questions.
Do you have a sense of what happened? Do you know more about the investigation than has been made public?
No, I really don't.
You haven't asked the commissioner the details of...
I gave Commissioner Tremblay one instruction when I first heard about this incident, and that was to treat this case as he would any other.
I imagine you were concerned when you found out that one of Vermont's largest employers was considering leaving the state pending the outcome of Yankee. In what ways have you followed up with them since that came to light?
Well, let me talk about how I've related to IBM over the last 8 years. Because it's our largest manufacturer, I decided to have regular meetings with the plant management of IBM, and so I've held them on roughly a quarterly basis throughout the time that I've been in office, and something I've given to Brian for his consideration in the future as well. I've enjoyed that opportunity. I've visited their headquarters in New York State and met with senior officials of the corporation, including Chairman Palmisano, a couple of times. So maintaining that close working relationship, I think, is critical to their success and the impact they have on our economy. Early in my tenure, IBM talked to me about what they needed to be successful in Vermont. We talked about a whole host of things, but paramount among them was stable, reliable, cost-effective electricity. Although IBM's done a great job with efficiency initiatives within the plant and become much more efficient in their use of electricity, they still are a major consumer. And although we've made progress in terms of relative costs of power compared to our New England neighbors, still pretty expensive compared to the rest of the country. So it's no secret that for some time they've been very clear that one key element to their success in Vermont is the cost of power. And that's why Brian and I have worked so hard to secure the long-term contract with Hydro-Quebec, which secures at least a portion of our energy future for some time.
Yeah, and let me clarify. I'm glad to have the opportunity. I was the chairman of my hometown school board. IBM was my largest taxpayer for 6 years. I was the chairman for 5 years. I know IBM in that context. I've been the lieutenant governor. IBM was in my hometown. As Vermont's lieutenant governor, I have a close relationship with IBM. The statement always has been, when you look at the issues facing the competitive nature of the globalization and the challenge of fabricating integrated circuits today. 10 years ago, IBM had 8,400 employees. Today, they have about 5,400 employees. With almost half the employees, or significantly less the employees, they're putting out almost twice as much product. They're doing that because of the capital-intensive nature of manufacturing integrated circuits, which demands the use of a lot of electricity. So as you look forward, the cost of power is increasingly the long pole in the tent, as it were. They're one of the most critical factors for IBM. The statement wasn't IBM was going to leave. The manufacturing jobs would be forced to possibly leave. Currently, the integrated circuits that are fabricated in IBM and Essex go to Bromont, Quebec. What happens at Bromont, Quebec is they do burn-in testing, environmental screening. That demands even more power usage. If you look at your records, Andy Potter actually did a story about Bromont, Quebec, and the relationship and the power-intensive nature of integrating, doing the environmental screening, the the burn-in testing for the integrated circuits that are fabricated in IBM. So to be clear, what I